It's going live. Check, it's still preparing live. Hi, how are you doing? It's another Sunday. It's another Dudu and Sipho session for us. How are you doing today? How have you been? How was your week?
I'm doing absolutely fine. Thank you, Sandile, for joining us again. I'm doing fine. The week was short, obviously, because now we are more like teachers and everything all at once. So the week just goes so fast because you have to prioritize a lot of things. And yeah, it's been a very hectic week. It's one of those.
I can imagine having to run around, cooking, trying to cope with other things that are required, and then doing
Yes.
it's no longer homework, doing homeschooling and making sure everybody is keeping up with the whole part while you're managing the mask that they have to be on their face if ever you're going out. It should be a lot of work, actually.
Yeah. This year has just given us a whole lot of new lessons that we are learning, and we seem to be coping, but it's quite a lot.
So today I want us to just start talking about something. Sorry, I'm having my light in my eyes a little bit. It's gonna go away just now.
Okay.
I want us just to talk about where we're continuing with our discussion. I mean, it's been a very interesting journey talking about Dudu and Sipho and what you guys have brought into this world and brought into most of the kids' life, which is the identically and see the African in them within the cartoons that you guys are actually working very hard to promote in this part. And I think in the past weeks, we spoke about just generally about what came about in giving Dudu and Sipho creation into this particular market. And second, how the market looked like. Today, I want us just to go down and just start looking at the character by character. I know that we've got a very good looking Dudu as our first character that you want to focus on. I want us to talk about Dudu. Who is Dudu? How did we come up with Dudu as this one character that we focusing on today?
Okay. One other thing that I'm very happy about as we are discussing the characters from today is that South Africa is focusing or celebrating a Youth Month in June. And it was through the issue of identity that and the issue that the youth was facing, that they had to go out to the streets to show their frustration and to make their voice be heard. And Dudu and Sipho is just a continuation of that. It's just that now we are doing it in a different form altogether in terms of the visual cartoons for kids. But it's still to convey the same message that being Black is important, and being Black does not mean that you don't know anything, you are stupid or whatever, but we are Black and we are proud of who we are, and we also want to make our voices heard. So the cartoons are also one of the reasons why we want to make sure that a children's voice in an African form is being heard. That is why the cartoons are purely focusing on African content. But coming down to discussing why Dudu the character. Okay, the brand is focusing on as I've said, on African content, stories that relate to us as Africans. But the whole concept is bringing in the African life, the life of an African. So in the storybook that we discussed a few weeks back, we did mention that they were visiting their gogo. So as we all know that in Africa, I mean, in our African life, the extended family is very much part of us. So there isn't like you are Sandile, you live with your wife and your kids. That happens like very rare. But in most African homes, you will find a gogo, you'll find an aunt, and you will find an uncle living in the same household. So we are bringing in that because we want to make sure that these cartoons bring in what we are familiar with, bring in the life that is what that's what makes us as Africans. So coming up with Dudu and Sipho as the characters was to bring in that we didn't want to just have maybe one object or one superpower without attaching the character, because these are human. These, we take them as living beings, because they are going to make kids go are getting attached to them, love them like they are real. So Dudu is the firstborn, is like the bigger sibling among the two, and she's got a very exciting character. Obviously, because we want to make sure that the brand as a whole, especially in the storyline, we want to expose the intelligence of Africans, because we want to make sure that our content resembles who we are, not just in what most people know us to be, but the reality of who we are. So Dudu is a very intelligent girl. She's very smart and she's very loving. I mean, we as Africans, we are people who are warm, and we love and we care, and wherever we go, we spread love. So that is Dudu's character. But at the same time, Dudu is the intelligent one. Not that Sipho is stupid, but Dudu is very intelligent, and she is the person who likes to be informed in all different ways. Like, she likes reading, she likes watching those informative programs on TV. She likes to be a person whom we can always rely, or her peers can always rely on to her with information or with solutions. And we also want to expose that, Sandile, that Africans are known to be people who don't like to read. I'm sure you will agree with me on that. But we are changing things around, because we want our kids not to be left out like us, or people who are older than us, in terms of not being able to access knowledge and information through reading. So we encourage a culture of reading among the kids. Hence, Dudu is the one who has that character of a reader and a person who is very, very crazy about information. Wherever she goes with a notebook, or sometimes she takes her tablet, where she will just be able to upload information very quickly, or she'll Google stuff very quickly, and then she'll come up with an answer. So she as much as she resembles the character of an African by showing love and caring, but she also resembles a smart child, because we do have Blacks who are very smart. It's just that we are not taken like that, and we are not seen like that, because we are known to be people who don't search for information, and people who don't read, just because we take things very casually. And I don't know if you have any.
Wow, I like how Tutu is so clever and how he uses some of the modern tools to actually be
Yes.
able to portray some of the knowledge center that you have. And again, I like the way that you are saying, it really portray how calm we are and how humble we are, but how intelligent we still are again. And I
Mm,
mean, that is a very good, symbol of how the African child is in
yes,
today's life, and being
yes.
innovative, being able to really, really bring in together some of the cultural understanding and ethos of being an African in most of the things that they do. And I like
Mm,
again the fact that you are saying Tutu is actually a female who leads. And I mean
yes.
that's one of the very important things, that sometimes we think that as ladies, as some of the girl child, they should be following other kids and should be listening to some of the other boys who are saying things. But I like the character of Tutu, because Tutu portrays this female who actually is able to educate others, who's able to lead others, and who resembles leadership in her to others and reflect it back into other people. So I like the way actually you have made this Tutu to appear, and the way that is becoming very attractive to all of the kids and to all of us to be learning
Mm,
from some of us. And I like the fact that Tutu Googles, I mean, who who will think that Dudu will never Google. He's
Yes.
able to Google information and get information faster, which is the power behind technology that we have today.
Yes. And just to mention on that part of using Google, I will just touch base on one of the stories whereby they go to a game farm where they go to look at the big five. It's just a visit to the game farm. And there's some drama that happens there. I'm not gonna say a lot because it's part of the storyline for the cartoons. But through that commotion and the drama with Sipho and Dudu, I like it when Dudu comes up with a solution of checking some information on her device, because in the game farm, the tour guide who was leading them and also showing them all these big five animals and the beautiful nature around the game farm somehow got missing. And then they are in the middle of the game farm and they don't know where to go. So she quickly just Googles, and with the help of Google Map, they are able to find their way back. So it's also to show that that intellect and that knowledge of saying, now we do have things like Google Map. We can just phone somebody and give them the location of where we are, and then the game driver will come and fetch us. So it's also as part of showing the intellect. We just want to show that no, Black kids are also very smart. So they are able to adapt to the new technology by using what's available in terms of the technology that is out there. So there's an episode where she resolves a situation using her skills and using her gadgets and also the Google Map.
Wow. And that means that then we're portraying these skills of problem solving, the way of analyzing situation and come up with solution just like that, very fast. Again,
Yes.
I mean, this is, for me, I like, again, this is not foreign. And I like that you guys are exposing it. And it's something that we do every time in the township. When you're faced with kind of things in the rural areas, we come together as kids and then come up with a way. I mean, we never had toys before because toy shops were not there in the rural areas, but the bricks became our toys. So you can see that our creativity and our thinking actually has been there for a long time. And I like the way you guys are actually using Dudu and Sipho just to expose how much innovative we have in Africa and how able to style it up and be able to integrate it into the current technological things to solve our problems and solve the things that you see every time. What are the other things that you can tell about Dudu? I will give it back to you.
Dudu is, at schools, kids come up with a lot of bullying. So Dudu as a leader, but in a very calm way. She is one person who is very trusted at school in terms of resolving conflict, but in a very calm way. So there are a lot of children who come up to her and they are able to confide it in her because she is known to be this person who will make a situation be peaceful, but not in an authoritative way, which shows some bullying. So that's one of her characters, whereby she's a person who is able to resolve a problem, and also she is very good in the issues of bullying, especially at school. But there's also one thing I like about her, that through her superpower, because her superpower is the calabash, which is also my background that I've got. Her superpower, the calabash, is very, very good in complementing what Dudu does. So, like, for instance, there is a situation whereby it's also one of the episodes whereby one of their visits to Gogo, Gogo exposes them on how to make honey, like by collecting the bees, and then one neighbor, the uncle in the farm, just takes them through the process. So, and then something happens as well. So with cartoons, there's always like a commotion of some sort. So when when something happens and the thing that collects the bees somehow let the bees go, and then everybody's running around because the bees are everywhere now. the calabash, because now you can see that it's something that is beyond Dudu. Dudu is able to just ask calabash, what can you do here? Because as much as we can run, but the bees are going to follow us. And the calabash quickly just expands. As you can see, the shape of it, it's round. It expands, and then it's able to form a layer outside where it can just collect all the bees and put them inside. So that's one of the magics that are going to be happening in the story. So the way she is so quick in resolving problems, but she also understands if it's a situation that she can't do anything about, she quickly relies on Calabash, and Calabash will come up with the solution.
I think this magical calabash is actually a very interesting problem solver. And
Yes,
again, I mean, partnered with a very intelligent lady that you have just introduced to us called
yeah.
Dudu. It
Mm,
seems like they're really ready to solve the problems of the world and come
mm,
up with a way of calmly
yes,
integrating and solving conflict like you have placed us to us. And I think for me,
correct.
this is what I enjoy about this character called Dudu. I mean, you're introducing today. And I
Mm,
enjoy the fact that she's actually I'm looking at her, by the way, behind you with that pink dress of hers, which is a
yeah.
really good resemblance of how the ladies and how they're actually powerful ladies will be. Bright colors, nice colors in your face with a big hair like you've got it there. Stylish
Mm,
hair too. It's not just big hair, but a very nice
mm,
stylish hair. And I like that. Is there any other more thing that you want to tell us? Is there anything that you're going to
mm.
give us more around to do that you should be doing, you should be knowing?
No, I would like to end it here because we just want to make sure that our listeners or our viewers at home just make sure that they tune in every Sunday afternoon so that they can hear more about these characters and they will hear more about what the brand is about. I think I've unpacked a lot because I've even given you guys the snippets of what the storyline is about and a few episodes. So people must just make sure that they tune in and join us every Sunday at 4 p.m. to hear the journey of Dudu and Sipho and to hear everything about the characters. I mean, now that we are in the youth month, there is a lot to celebrate, and I think the brand Juju and Sipo as well is something that we can celebrate because it's who we are, and it's also there to make our kids be proud of being African and be proud of who they are. They don't have to explain to anybody about the way they look. I mean, our Miss Universe, who is also Miss South Africa, our very own Zozibini, made sure that the girls out there are well represented, just the way she looks and the way she is, and not compromising anything, not putting on those expensive hair out there. But she was crowned Miss South Africa and Miss Universe. And why? Because she embraced who she is. And now we are celebrating Youth Day on Tuesday. And we just want to say, you know, the youth of 1976 did a fantastic job in fighting for our rights, in fighting for their voices to be heard. And I mean, we are able to celebrate this freedom because of what started back then. But what is it that we are able to do to convince our kids that what happened in 1976
Yeah.
was not a mistake? This is where we should continue. So Dudu and Sipo is also a brand to make sure that our kids are proud of who they are. And we also take note of what happened in 1976 and what happened with our leaders who have been fighting for our freedom as we are now celebrating being in a democratic South Africa. Thank you so much,
Wow.
Sandile.
Wow. Wow. You just touched my heart. I like how this Tutu and Sipo is really not just about the cartoon, but it's really about the freedom and actually the powerfulness of our African things. And I like, by the way, the way that you actually make it just so very to understand that the story continues. 1976 happened. We were free in 1994 to vote. We are actually constantly in a fighting to actually free ourselves in
Mm,
so many other things. And Tutu and Sipo is telling the story to the young people around. I am proud. I'm African. I might be black. I'm still a human being and I
mm,
have to be respected and I have to be normal. And I like how Dudu is telling the story. And I'm going to keep on saying that because he's a girl child that is actually showing other girls, children that with being calm in leadership, you can still make it and be smart and be what you're supposed to do. By the way, just before we leave today, there is some very good comments that you are getting, by the way, from some of the people who are looking. I mean, Nontlantla is saying, "What? This is so wonderful. Wow." And which, I mean, I think for me, it's some of people who are identifying with the brand. I mean, Chablani is saying, "Pick up." Oh, man. I mean, don't you need a writers? You need writers. I mean, this is very interesting because you can see that other people are not just now looking at Dudu Sipho as a stationery or as a cartoon, but they're seeing even an opportunity to write more stories through them. And they're seeing other people as I mean, they're seeing themselves being involved into the whole part. And thank you very much for another Sunday. And one of the good things that we need to encourage most of the parents who might be watching, don't make this your own story. We are not doing this for the parents. We're doing this for the kids. For the first time in your life, can you take your child, sit next to you on Facebook, just to come and listen about Dudu and Sipho? Just make 20 minutes to be about the family time, just to come together on Sunday at 4 o'clock, listening to listen to Tafsile and listen to myself, just talking about the story of Dudu and Sipho. Let's tell our story. Let's be listening to our kids. Let them understand where it's coming from. Tafsile, I'm really, really appreciative of today. I really thank you very much for joining us once again today, for giving us a very good story about this lady. I'll call her a lady called Dudu. So articulate and so smart. I'm looking forward to hear about Sipho too, in terms of how does Sipho work around Dudu, having a sister who's so humble but so smart and so much with leadership. I'm looking forward to next week, where we're going to be unveiling and talking about Sipho. And I know that you've got a very good short week because Tuesday is a holiday. We will be celebrating the young leaders who actually led the struggle of 1976, which today allowed us to speak in our languages and learning in our languages. And I'm looking forward to you next week, where we're going to be talking about this particular character called Sipho. Is there last few words you want to say before we close today?
All I want to say to whoever is watching at home is that the youth of 1976 were paving the way for us, and 1994 continued from that. And what are we doing to continue from where it started in 1994 and in 1976? We need to continue. As we always say, the struggle continues. It's not just a saying, but it's something that we are working on every day to make sure that Blacks are recognized in a manner and in a way that they should be. And Dudu and Sipho is just about that to our kids. Have a great week and enjoy the Tuesday off and spend some time with your families as well.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate Black Lives Matters, all the good things that happen because of Black people are human beings too. Really appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Tafsile. And I'm looking forward to next week. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Cheers.